Hello, beautiful people of Nigeria. Happy 62nd Independence Anniversary. We have really come a long way, and God will continue to bless and strengthen our great nation. I am Jennifer Igwe. Many thanks for joining us for this Independence edition of Newsline. Now, October 1st, 1960, we as a people broke off from the strings of colonialism, marched on as a sovereign nation with determination to take our destiny and steer it with pride. It will not be a perfect journey. Even Rome wasn't built in a day. So we must continue to unite and build our nation. Independence Day celebration is usually an opportunity to reminiscent, assess, and appreciate our collective will and journey to nationhood. On the lineup today, we will be taking a trip down memory lane to our independence history. From there, we will walk back to the present and make new memories from side attractions during our 62nd Independence Anniversary. Then the role of women in politics back in the independence era and now will be highlighted. Most times when we talk about our founding fathers, who we really appreciate, yes, we always talk about them, men. But today, however, we are tilting a bit to my gender and our involvement in politics back then and now. On the lineup are also impactful stories showing how brands did their celebrations and why Calabar is still a tourist destination to beat, plus other interesting stories tied to our national identity. I'm sure you're eager for us to roll our Newsline stories. We are too. But the news segment first, and my colleague Najatu Tijani is all smiles and waiting. Najatu, nice to see you. Happy Independence Anniversary.
Thank you very much, Jennifer. Happy Independence Anniversary to you too. Welcome to the news segment. I'm Najatu Tijani, and we begin with the 2022 Independence Day Leadership Dialogue Series, where patriots have urged Nigerians to keep having faith in the fatherland, stressing that for leaders to emerge, citizens must reinvent themselves for a new Nigeria. Charles Alpha reports.
Of leadership.
There are claims here that Nigeria is blessed with everything but not with leadership, and that the quest for reorientation to refocus the ideologies of its people in the search for a 21st century kind of leadership is highly needed. For them, achieving a radical change lies in breaking down ethnic boundaries while upholding the country's tenets.
The leader must be driven by a passionate and inordinate drive to succeed.
Abuja Leadership Center at the 62nd Independence Day lectures on finding leadership solutions in Nigeria is inducting and raising a set of leaders who will propagate the doctrine of love for their nation, patriotism, and integrity.
If Nigeria desires to take its rightful place among the community of nations, it must commit full throttle to finding leadership solutions.
But the starting point is, of course, to love Nigeria itself. What is happening is that there's lack of patriotism, commitment to the nation, and submission to the will of the people.
Nigeria, they argued, has come a long way, certainly not yet where it ought to be, but making strides towards actualizing the dreams of the founding father. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Similarly, clerics and traditionalists in Port Harcourt, Rivers State say love and respect for one another are sacrosanct for the peaceful coexistence and advancement of Nigeria. They made the assertion while analyzing the contribution of religious institutions to the growth and development of Nigeria since independence. Joy Uzo reports.
Religious institutions are a core part of Nigeria's pre-independence history. Some clergy in Port Harcourt say the church has over time gone beyond its primary responsibilities to add value to national growth.
Because the truth is, what is our primary assignment as religious institutions? The propagation of our faith. But when we now have gone beyond that, so we do corporate social responsibility. We look at the law will help us to not only pray, but also go out there to vote the right people, the right candidate.
This in addition to other religious platforms of worship like Islam, as well as custodians of the people's tradition, have been instrumental to Nigeria's consistent growth and unity despite our diversity since independence.
Abraham was called the father of faith, all faiths. With Judaism, you trace him to Moses. Christianity, you trace it to Jesus. Islam, you trace it to Muhammad. And if you trace these three religions, you trace it back to Abraham.
They expressed optimism that with continued prayers, Nigeria will conquer her challenges. In Port Harcourt, Joy Uzo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, floods caused by torrential rainfall have claimed not less than 3 lives in Kwamba community in Suleja local government area of Niger State. Kamakama reports that the community is calling on government and well-meaning Nigerians for interventions to cushion the effect of the disaster.
The flood also destroyed several properties, including houses and farmlands, with many rendered homeless.
Shine ruwa ya ja kanina namiji babana bi shi ni ina rike da hannunsa sai muka faɗi sai mama na ta biyo mu da kannina biyu sai shi babana ya ja mu ya cire mu daga wani rami sai mutane suka taimake mu mama na dukan su sun rasu.
Whenever there's heavy rainfall, it is to disturb. So when the water was rushing to their home, they were now afraid that the water will eat them up. So they now rushed out. And this very house you are seeing, they were pleading with them that they should come there. And I said, no, let them rush to the school where it is more safer. So in their process, when they were going, that was where the water now came with force and picked the 2 children with the father. So the mother was not trying to help so that they will be saved from it. Before knowing, she too, the water now took her away and took them to where they call Padama Abuchi. That's where they went and saw their dead body.
The state has been experiencing the negative impact of flooding, with houses, farmlands, bridges and some linked roads washed away in some local government areas. This has affected the socio-economic activities of the communities. In Suleja, Kamakama, NTA News.
The Office of the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity has produced a 25-minute documentary titled The Legacy, Second Niger Bridge. The documentary, which tells the story of the bridge, will air on the network service of the NTA on Tuesday, October 4 at 8:30 p.m. A statement from the presidential media team, while urging Nigerians to watch the documentary, states that after more than 40 years of promises by successive administrations, the stage is almost set for the inauguration of the second Niger Bridge after its completion by the Buhari administration. A political movement tagged Shiwaju Project Beyond 2023 has taken a bold step in wooing more support for the Tinubu-Shatima ticket for the 2023 presidency. Abubakar Akwanga reports.
Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kashim Shetima's presidential ticket on the platform of All Progressives Congress APC is fast gathering momentum. This time around, the Asiwaju Project Beyond 2023 is mobilizing Nigerians to stand on the mandate of APC presidential candidate.
Asiwaju is not centered on ethnicity. Everyone was saying we must vote for you. It's in the collective way. They have no record of discrimination between tribal groups in Nigeria. They have demonstrated capacity to develop education, develop the economy, build bridges, build leaders.
This message you are hearing here, we are taking it down to the grassroots, because elections are not won in Abuja. Elections are won at the grassroots.
When it comes to gender issues, we all know that Jagaban is not biased on that. And you can see even his wife is a a politician. He is somebody that encourages women to get involved into politics.
The group says it is working out modalities to encourage massive participation of Nigerians in APC campaigns at all levels, with success in sight come 2023. In Abuja, Abubakar Aponga, NTA News.
The Katsina Police Command has organized a meeting with chairmen of political parties, security agencies, and the Independent Electoral Commission on the need for peaceful conduct during the ongoing campaigns for presidential and National Assembly positions. Awal Haluru reports.
The meeting was aimed at brainstorming on strategies towards peaceful conduct of campaigns by political parties across the state. The Commissioner of Police, Katsina State Command, Idris Dauda Damba, drew attention on the provisions of the Electoral Act 2022 as amended, especially Section 94, subsection 1.
Change begins with me. If all of us change, security will not have a problem. That's the better news.
Special Advisor on Security to Katsina State Governor Ibrahim Ahmed Katsina spoke on guidelines of the electoral process, calling on candidates to shun political thuggery and other vices among their followers.
Members of the school proposals are making sacrifices. Also not allowed to be here. Electors will continue their efforts to ensure the sustenance of peace and security. Making the people aware candidates and political parties with the opportunity to express themselves and their messages to society, and therefore convince forces to go to the election day.
Heads of security agencies in the state stressed the need for political parties and their candidates to abide by the laws governing the electoral process to ensure peace and hate-free political activities. In Katsina, Awal Halaru, NTA News.
Now that campaigns for the 2023 elections have kicked off, politicians have been advised to make their campaigns issue-based and present sound and convincing proposals on alternative solutions to issues which are of utmost concern to Nigerians. The advice is from the Nigerian Civil Society Situation Room. Timothy Yusuf has details.
Of the candidates to look at their background.
The Civil Society Situation Room believes that even in the face of the new Electoral Act, the various laws of the land and the penal code must be adhered strictly to within the electioneering campaign period. Situation Room resolved to closely monitor all the electioneering campaigns by political parties and their candidates.
We are going to be watching keenly who is violating and what laws, who have been held accountable. We will demand accountability for every step of the way. To the citizens, Situation Room has observed that the activities of party supporters on the social media, we have observed that and advised supporters to desist from cyberbullying and other forms of online intimidation.
Center for Transparency Advocacy is a civil society watchdog expecting that campaigns and manifestos would be tailored towards only the things that would further enhance the peace and unity of the country.
It is imperative, therefore, that political parties make their campaigns issue-based and convince Nigerians to vote for their candidates based on sound proposals of alternative solutions to the issues that are utmost concern to Nigerians.
Meanwhile, a civil society organization on the banner of FAGWORD is urging Nigerian youth to take the 2023 political activities seriously, stating that it would greatly determine a lot in the nation's destiny. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
On to aviation matters, the president of the International Civil Aviation Organization Council, Salvatore Saggettiano, has restated the commitment of the organization to partner Nigeria in establishing and providing funding for the faculty of the African Aviation and Aerospace University in Abuja, the first of its kind in Africa, for training managers in the aviation industry. The president gave the assurance when Nigeria's Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, led the country's delegation to the 41st General Assembly of the organization to his office at the headquarters in Montreal, Canada, where he promised to support the manpower needs of member nations in order to service and manage the ever-expanding aviation industry. Similarly, Qatari Minister of Transport Jassim Al-Sulaiti is excited to partner Nigeria through providing some funding and training of its manpower in the university, noting that it will further deepen the relationship between the two countries. And still on transportation, the Minister Muazu Jaji Sambo has paid an inspection visit to the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency NIMASA, saying for the agencies to sustain its support for the national economy, it must ramp up its revenue generation drive. Adeni Itaiwu reports from the NIMASA headquarters in Lagos.
Attempt to generate reports to management having them the number of cases. Speaking after inspecting the Maritime Stakeholders Experience Contact Center and the Ship Registry at NIMASA, the minister, who was accompanied by the Minister of State for Transportation, Ademola Adegoroye, and the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Magdalene Ajani, lauded ongoing initiatives, including implementation of the Blue Economy Roadmap and the Deep Blue Project to ensure maritime safety by the agency. Training of seafarers to enhance capacity, harnessing wreck removal to generate revenue, and asset management of the Deep Blue project are some of the areas where the minister made demands for improvements. Assuring the minister of NIMASA's commitment to the realization of its mandate, the Director General said apart from training over 2,000 Nigerians in various areas of the maritime sector and maintaining about 600 special forces in the Deep Blue project, the agency is also improving standard in revenue generation. In Lagos, Adeni Itaiwo, NTA News.
In 62 years, Nigeria has grown its volume of import and export by removing major obstacles to boosting the economy, as seen in the case of Apapa, where there are constant initiatives aimed at boosting the flow of business activities. Michael Olaleye examined some of these interventions in Apapa, especially in the area of traffic gridlock.
Far back in 1880, the Lagos port has earned the appellation of the Liverpool of Africa. This is not just because of its dominance in maritime trade in the region, but majorly because it is the shortest route to the international waters. With increase in the volume of trade comes congestion in yard occupancy, thereby speeding up traffic within the Apapa corridor, which was further compounded by the poor state of roads then. Apart from reducing government's revenue from the corridor by 6 trillion naira in 2019, according to the organized private sector, Nigeria started losing its volume of cargoes to neighboring West African countries.
There's a syndicate making money from this problem, and until government gets to the root of it, nothing is going to work in Apapa.
The zeal to change the tide has remained consistent, with the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari inaugurating various interventions. The first step was the constitution of a presidential task force team headed by Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo. The Federal Safety Corps on its part constituted a minimum safety standards for articulated vehicles plying the road.
If we have the minimal standard coming in, then we don't expect frequent breakdown of trucks either within the port or along the corridor. So that will definitely ease congestion within the port.
With the passing of the day comes new ideas on how best to free the ports for legitimate trade, which one of the strategies identified by the Nigerian Ports Authority is making the corridor inaccessible for trucks and individuals without genuine businesses. This led to the removal of shanties and putting in place of an electronic call-up system known as ITO.
We will keep automating that, we will keep tweaking the system until we get it perfect. We are likely to, create a second app. It's just to create competition and also give people alternatives.
While all of these are yielding results with businesses having a new lease of life, the federal government followed up with the setting up of the Free the Port Access Rules initiative, and the end is justifying the means by the testimonies.
Now they do not allow any vehicle to park
no congestion, no delay, no anything. Everywhere is free. We are all happy about it.
Now you can boast of loading a container in a day or in 24 hours and the goods is at the warehouse.
The team has successfully opened up their Papa Trade corridor, while efforts are ongoing to ease Tinkan Island ports. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
We're talking branding now, and Nigeria's foremost indigenous telecommunications giant, Globacom, is at it again. The company recently unveiled its latest brand ambassador. Can you guess? I'll give you a hint. Nigeria's very own queen of the tracks, world, African and Commonwealth champion Tobi Amusan, who set a new world record and made history during the last World Athletic Championship in Switzerland. Amaka Owo captured the unveiling in Lagos and now reports.
Globacom Nigeria Limited has been at the forefront of supporting the citizens in various fields of endeavor. Sports is one of such fields. Therefore, the choice of Tobi Amusan as the latest ambassador of the global telecom giant didn't come as a surprise, as the company has sponsored major sporting events and appointed talented and enterprising sportsmen as its ambassadors. This is done with the intention of inspiring young Nigerians to look up to the tenacity of these stars in realizing their own dreams, especially the likes of Tobi Amusan, who is the first female sports ambassador of Globacom.
It is therefore in line with this commitment to empower Nigerians, deliver value and reward excellence, that we have signed up a Nigerian international athletes, the current African, Commonwealth and World Champion in the 100-meter hurdles events, Tobi Amusan, to project the Globacom brand across the world.
For this bundle of talent that has put the country in international limelight in the area of athletics, where she has currently set a new world record, she is delighted by the recognition from Globacom Nigeria.
As a global ambassador, I hope to mentor and inspire younger people to achieve their goals. I'm going to do my very best to be a good representative of the company and youth at all times.
Established in 2003, Globacom is the first indigenous mobile network operator in Nigeria. It has over the years contributed in uplifting the lives of numerous Nigerians in no small measure. In Lagos, Amaka Owo, NTA News.
Back to business now. As part, the Presidential Enabling Business Initiative is always striving to make the Nigerian economy more enviable and is always collaborating with notable Nigerians to map new ways of strengthening the nation's taxation system. Omenka Amarachuku reports.
Dr. Jumoke Obuwale, special advisor to the president on ease of doing business, is using the 62nd independent anniversary to intimate Nigerians on the activities of the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council.
You have the corrupt tax official or tax agent trying to extort and trying to divert money from government account to their private account. You also see that people don't know when they're supposed to pay or what they're supposed to pay. So information is key. People don't know how easy it is to pay, that you can pay online, and people don't know which arms of government collect what. Sometimes when you're new in business, you don't know what state government collects, you don't know what federal government collects or local government. So those are all the elements that we're trying to put in.
Citizens would understand their responsibility. There's nothing in life that it's a give and take. You expect something, you also have a responsibility. So together as citizens, we have a responsibility to this country, just as those who are in power. So as Yorubas would say, it takes two hands to make the hands clean.
The event, which commemorates the nation's anniversary, is a reminder for Nigerians to be more productive. In Abuja, Omeka Marchku, NTA News.
Having a hitch-free census process and credible data outcome in the face of the country's security challenges continues to be on the front burner, with the latest being a meeting of statisticians with the National Population Commission on consequences of security challenges on the 2023 census. Oluseyi Adiagbo reports.
Statistician Dr. Fidelis Adaka explains why a new census data is necessary in Nigeria, using Kefi community in Nasarawa State as reference. In 2006, when Nigeria held the last census exercise, Kefi was mainly a Nigerian community.
So if you are planning for only agrarian before, now you have the federal government college here. How many students are now here? How many will you require tomorrow? It's germane that with that population census you will do a lot.
Like Dr. Adaka, other statisticians insist that the entire nation has changed, making the 2023 population and housing census long overdue. For the Director General of the NPC, Ojogun Osifo, there is optimism that the main census in April next year will be peaceful.
We are going to use locals. We are going to fence our recruitment so that people work within the context of their localities. They know their danger areas and how to approach them. One critical thing is that nobody will be left behind.
The 2023 census will be devoid of threats to lives and property with verifiable and transparent data. Oluseyi Adiagbo, NTA News.
And that concludes the news. We'll now rejoin Jennifer in our Newsline studio.
Welcome back. The 62nd anniversary of Nigeria almost became a roll call of all groups that reside in Lagos as the people turned up for the commemoration of the nation's birthday. And we know that convergence of people, be it in traffic congestion or journey celebrations, usually present petty traders the opportunity for brisk business. Diana Ajale monitored how some Lagosians marked the nation's independence anniversary.
On this day, 62 years ago, the shackle of colonialism was broken, and the announcement was made here in Lagos at the place known as Race Course, which was renamed Tafawa Balewa Square in honor of the fourth Prime Minister, Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, who made the announcement in his speech. This past again reverberated at the commemoration of the country's independence in Lagos, as residents converge on various locations to mark the day.
It simply means we've been liberated from slavery into freedom. And it gives us an opportunity to become who we desire to be as a people. This boat called Nigeria will not sink, will not be divided. Nigeria will be one indivisible entity. And I believe God is going to strengthen Nigeria and strengthen our leader from west, south, east, north. And we believe it's going to be a great nation.
62 years is not a joke. We pray that God, in His infinite mercy, will descend His mercy upon Nigeria.
At Mobolaji Johnson Stadium, Onikon, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu led the state in the celebration.
I want to enjoin every one of us to focus on issues and refrain from politics of division, ethnicity, bigotry. We must respect divergent opinions and respect the fact that the beauty of democracy lies in the fact that we will not all share the same ideological and political views.
It was a day of fanfare and colorful march past by the Nigeria Police Force, other paramilitary outfits, students, and different other groups.
We are here to share purpose for everybody that is here for free.
Ayo Thomas is really feeling lucky, having made good sales by taking advantage of the crowd that gathered at this venue to mark the milestone
When we have crowd, is different from just putting it in a place. What you sell 250, some people might buy it to 300, 400. I think that is just the kind of opportunity we have.
No nation or individual wishes to remain dependent, though Nigerians have good reasons to celebrate their country's independence anniversary.
Nothing beats the Laskidi way of celebration. Now, still on our independence anniversary, she was not anonymous when attention of the world reverted on Tafawa Balewa Square, watching as the green-white-green flag fluttered in the air for the first time on October 1st, 1960. In fact, she had a front row seated as a prominent member of the Color Party, bearing aloft on a pole the flag of the new country. 62 years after, fame, power, and other achievements have not dimmed her recollections of the nation's march into independence. Now, who is this person? Adeni Taiwo has the answers, and he will take the story from here.
The array of awards in her study could be one way to judge how impactful she has been as a woman over the years, while the rich collection in her art gallery is enough to reflect her status as a culture promoter-in-chief that she truly is. Erelu Abiola Dosunmu had a simple but fascinating beginning thanks to the rich childhood she enjoyed that was built around the boisterous city life and carnivals of Lagos Island. October 1st, 1960 was not a birthday. No, that day was and will forever belong to Nigeria as her Independence Day celebration. However, the day stood out for young Princess Abiola, who also stood out as one of the few faces of the Independence Day celebration 62 years ago.
I had the singular honor with two of my colleagues, Aduke George, who is now Mrs. Top, and Toyin Shonibare and myself. We carried the color party of the Nigerian Girl Guide. We were on the front line, and we led all the Nigerian Girl Guides, the Boy Scouts, the Brownies, marching down the TBS with such great pride and, honor and, bright eyes, bushy tails.
At 13, young Abiola Dosunmu knew next to nothing about what independence meant for the nation. But she knew enough to sense the changing tide.
We were being taught history, what happened before, what's going to happen, how my great-great-great-grandfather was held at gunpoint to sign the Treaty of Cession, and now we're going to be free and we can be in charge of our fortune. Especially some of us in Lagos whose ancestors play a significant part. In fact, I thought at that point that it's my ancestors again that would, come and at least we'll be able to rule Lagos and be part of it again.
Having a front row seat at the celebration sure comes with a reward. For Erelu Abiola, it was a special connection with the historic moment that eventually shaped her life.
What impacted on us at independence that we're going to be free and going to be in charge of our own destiny, that can only give you a lot of confidence, and it did.
Watching her come alive and relive her first independence memory, I could not resist the temptation to ask about her flag.
When you have people working together and holding the flag up, then the flag means something. But if not, it's just a piece of cotton. So it's the human element of independence that I want.
After the Union Jack Cross Road,
yes,
we signed our own party.
Yes.
The first vote.
Yes.
Do you still recall?
You see that? Nigeria, we hail the
while some of the words of the old national anthem may have escaped our memory, same cannot be said for the timeless message they carry.
We knew that our tongues were different, but we still agreed to come together and drive the colonialists. So that motivation to come together should tell us that each group cannot do it alone. You need to come together to do it.
True, and still apt. done with my once upon a time story told by this beautiful Amazon, it was time to say my goodbyes, get an autographed book as a gift, and hopefully catch up on some of the Independence Day celebration fun.
Oh, and I hope we still have the Nigerian girl guides vibrant. I used to be a guide years ago. I know some memories are just unforgettable. They sit prominently in our heart, and trips down memory lane helps us to better appreciate them. Now, there is no gainsaying that Nigerian women have been making a mark in many spheres of national development, and politics is not an exception. As Nigeria marks her 62nd independence anniversary, Diana Ajale in this report takes a look at women involvement and contributions in politics then and now.
Nigeria on my mind. October 1, 1950 remains historic and significant in the hearts of Nigerians because the country gained freedom from colonialism on that day. Independence is commemorated every year in memory of those who fought for nationhood. The struggle for leadership and rulership also set the tone for Nigerians to have a feeling of exercising their franchise through voting and be voted for during elections, irrespective of gender. This is a platform where men and women can contribute their quota to nation building, usually referred to as pillars of every home. Women are blessed with various unique features that make them stand out in all endeavors. How are Nigerian women utilizing their potential in tapping into different available opportunities in politics? Are they really there?
So if you look at the dynamics, women are becoming more aware, and they know that for the society to be developed, they need the both gender to come into round table in order for them to take decision for the well-being of the society. So it has increased tremendously.
Although several Nigerian women in time past and those currently holding various political offices did not disappoint the society. This signifies a wake-up call for more women participation in politics.
It's tough, but I want to encourage more women to go into politics, particularly professional women from our community, from your ward, from where you live, from your local government. Even if you're not contesting elections, participate.
Some women currently seeking political appointments express their motive this way.
I've always had this thing in me that I must, at every point in time, be able to contribute to my immediate environment, wherever I am, wherever I find myself. Of course, the women will be well encouraged, and they will also be, carried along in every way.
In terms of competence, strength, and knowledge, you see, when the Almighty God created us, He didn't shortchange any human being. He gives you, the support humanly necessary, so you develop it and you work it out.
It is hoped that more Nigerian women will take advantage of available opportunities in politics to enable them strive more for the betterment of all.
Women have always been involved in politics in Nigeria, but it's time we become more conspicuous. Now, Nigeria's unity is hinged on the ability of people to ensure bitterness and live in peace for growth and development of the nation. This message resonated at a command performance by the National Troupe of Nigeria on Echoes of the Drums. It laid emphasis on unity to celebrate Nigeria at 62. Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, was represented at the epic performance. Adiola Komiakere reports.
Echoes of the drums, portraying the importance of love, brotherliness, unity, cohabitation, and hope, creatively intertwined with drums and musical rhythms. Is about the birth of the first set of triplets in the clan of drummers. Arugbala, Onlude, and Ayonlade were brought up by their father Abayon, head of the clan of drummers,
at the death of their mother. The triplets, having reached maturity and with all the tenets of drumming, decided to explore the outer world and sought the blessing of their father, Abayon. The command performance is about triplets who decided to go their separate ways. They fell out with each other and learnt the hard way. My friends.
In every country there are challenges, but challenges are part of development. And people need to look inward and say, okay, look, yes, we have these challenges, but how do we really reach to each other so we can be able to be bridge and then pass it across? That's one essence of the possible drum.
Al-Haji Lai Mohammed, represented, said using drums and dance to promote peace and unity is germane in the nation's quest for integration.
When we are not one according to the bill, there will be problem, there will be war, there will be a lot of things that will happen in the country, and we don't want war.
Writer of the play and guests speak on the relevance of the drama as the nation's 62nd anniversary is marked.
We looked at the theme of unity, which is so sacrosanct at this time, the issue of environmental sustainability, which is also so important at this time, the issue, so these issues are just so germane. That was what got me pondering on the various challenges that were faced as a nation.
It is a good teaser, it's a good relief, it's a good presentation to let us know that we must unite. It also shows the power of the African culture when it comes to storytelling, to really show us the way.
This is another epic from the nation's apex performing arts organization, the National Troupe of Nigeria.
Lovely performance there. Now note that national unity fosters growth and development. Let's not forget that. We'll take a break. We'll be back shortly. Come back. Being patriotic to one's country is something that is expected of all. But the story of Debal Ayel Wandali, popularly called Mr. Nigeria, in the Far Biu local government area of southern Borno is exceptional. The patriot customized every aspect of his life for over 40 years in the green, white, green national colors. Let's follow Umaru Kirawa for more revealing and interesting narratives about the true patriot, an unsung hero who epitomizes a deep sense of loyalty and devotion to his nation.
For the first time, I embarked on a journey to the far hinterland on the apex of the Rocky Plateau is Biu Town, headquarters of Biu local government area of Borno State, over 200 kilometers drive from Maiduguri, the state capital, on a mission to meet the unique personality called Mr. Nigeria. Upon arrival to Biu, we met the hardworking Nigerian in his usual national colors at his duty post General Hospital B, and later moved to his colorfully painted green-white-green residence. Virtually everything is green-white-green, from his bicycle, cars, wristwatch, mobile phone cover. Interior decorations of the house, including the bedroom fittings, were also not left behind, as they are also colorfully painted in the Nigerian national colors.
This thing has been my dream. Well, whatever I become in this country, I will take my country at heart.
We had an extensive discussion where Dibal Arhel Wandali, a medical laboratory professional, popularly called Mr. Nigeria, took time to explain the genesis behind promoting the Nigerian nation and how he started the movement as a student in Bulgaria, Europe.
They normally organize Independence Day for Nigerian students. The green and white yard was spread on the table. So that thing infuriated me so much. I had to walk out, but people didn't know why. If people didn't know the value of this country, then I will have to take it up.
Mr. Nigeria believes strengthening the younger generation with the love of the country for better and stronger Nigeria in the Committee of Nations is the best way to brighten the potentials of the country.
The only thing we want is the peace and unity. That is what I have in mind. If I have money after retirement, I would like to form an association of patriotic Nigerians.
He loved his country very well because he said that whether it's nice or not nice, it's his country. Oh, Hebrew. And he has seen this wrapper with me with green, white, green. This is my father-in-law, myself, that bought it. So that is the color of my husband. I like him, and I also like the way he dressed, the way he behaves.
There are sometimes that you will even think that he used to sleep here at work, because you will come to work, he is here, you will leave, he is still here.
Mr. Nigeria, according to first-class Emir of Biu, who presides over an emirate consisting of 4 local government areas, Mustafa Umar Mustafa, is an inspiration for all citizens from a proud son of the soil.
He is proud of his nation that sponsored his studies overseas and now working for Nigeria in Borno and in Biu specifically. He is an exceptionally patriotic Nigerian whose character should be emulated by all.
Unveiling of Mr. Nigeria, which coincided with the nation's 62nd birthday, is the beginning of a new culture for the development of a deep sense of national consciousness.
Talking about feeling of nationalism and devotion, it is not only the paintings of the house and furnitures of Dibal Wandali, popularly called Mr. Nigeria, that will capture your attention in far-away view, but he also acts Nigeria, which according to many sends a message of patriotism and hope for better Nigeria.
Now, he is a classic example of what I call the true Mr. Nigeria. No competition needed. Well done, sir. Now to what brands are doing. There was an ambience of celebration for stakeholders in Nigeria's oil sector as they converged on Port Harcourt to applaud the first oil discovery on the Ikike oil field project after 3 years of construction phases. The project, which currently contributes 50,000 barrels of oil to Nigeria's daily production capacity, is a joint venture of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited, NNPC, and Total Energies EP Nigeria Limited. Joy Uzo reports.
The celebration mood is in acknowledgement of the first oil discovered on the Ikike field. This is an achievement stakeholders say is well deserved after 3 years of construction phases by the Total Energies Nigeria Limited. The Ikike project now adds 50,000 barrels of oil equivalent per day to Nigeria's production.
There's been a lack of new projects sanctioned in the country over recent years for many reasons, but I think Ikike was able to capitalise on the skills which already exist. So I think at the peak of the development in the project, there was over 3,000 either direct or indirect jobs were created on the Ikike project.
The major mandate of the ministry is to ensure we increase production capacity to about 3 million barrels per day. So we want to encourage the Total and all the other IOCs to do the same and bring down the barrel.
From the time the first steel cut was marked in 2019 to the first oil explored in July 24, 2022, Ikike reported 0 fatality, which is appreciable against the fact that most of the project time was at the peak of the COVID-19 pandemic.
We are about 99% complete. First oil in 24th July
and first water in 24th of August.
Ikike is a classical manifestation of the commitment of the Commission towards supporting investment and creating value that ensure shared prosperity, support the economic diversification agenda of the federal government.
We are hoping and expecting that they will be able to meet up with the expectations of the people, particularly with regards to the contents of the Petroleum Industry Act, in dealing with the host communities.
Though each oil and gas development project has its peculiar challenges, coordinators say a key success factor for Kike was the willingness of all stakeholders to cooperate to address the challenges. Located 20 kilometers off the coast with water depth of about 20 meters, the Kike project is designed to minimize greenhouse emissions. It is also leveraging almost 100% local content participation.
Interesting development. Meanwhile, a star prize winner of a brand new SUV 2022 edition has emerged at the grand finale of the Quartz Mega Promo by Total Energies Marketing Nigeria PLC. Lilileke reports that in addition to the top prize, 40 other winners went home with quality prizes.
With over 66,000 entries from customers across the country, Total Energies Marketing Nigeria PLC decided to reward its loyal customers for buying its Quat brands of lubricants through the nationwide campaign, which lasted for a period of 2 months. A raffle draw produced 40 winners across 10 gift categories, which includes household appliances such as smart televisions, refrigerators, sound bars and air conditioners, among others, while other winners also got free fuel and oil change worth about 300,000 naira.
Am I speaking to Mr. Femi Ake? So I'm calling to inform you that you're the lucky winner of an electronic tablet in the Quartz Mega Promo raffle draw.
We've been consistent offering our customers. They have tested the quality of the product that we're using and they quite accept it. That's why you see that the numbers keep rising.
We are with our customers all the way. Every opportunity to touch their lives, we're there with them.
Adeoye Afiz emerged winner of a star prize, a brand new SUV. Recognizing customers' loyalty, Total Energies says will encourage more patronage.
If you have long growing old, you save money. So we participate, of course, of the savings. So that's why we try to push people to take good lubricants. Good lubricants means saving money.
And we're also looking and continue to looking at digitalization and mobile money strategies to help attract both that younger generation, but also to fill that gap within the Nigerian context to provide additional services. When you go to a service station, it's a one-stop shop.
Total Energies Marketing Nigeria PLC has over 60 years service experience with more than 500 service stations across the country. The company says it remains a market leader in the lubricant subsector, providing quality engine oil that can keep engines younger and much longer.
To another impactful event, there is a saying that nothing can stop a people gathered together for a common cause. Great impact is often achieved. It recently held true when members of the Muslim Ummah of Southwest Nigeria gathered in Lagos for a noble cause, which is to raise 10 billion naira for the actualization of its empowerment center. Ruth Ario Samuel was there for Newsline.
Handshake, laughter, cheerful banter echoed round as bigwigs of the Muslim Ummah of Southwest Nigeria
Muswen filled the hall. The gathering was not for long discussion, as they all had one thing in mind: to raise 10 billion naira for the building of the Muswen Empowerment Center, a cause which the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Saad Abubakar III, is excited to be associated with.
A project for the Muslim Ummah, not only of Southwest, because a lot of people will definitely benefit from it. We all must ensure its successfully completed and functioning in the shortest possible time.
From economic experts, political stalwarts, to security personnel and other dignitaries, the entire Ummah agreed with the Muslim president that the Empowerment Center, when completed, will aid in empowering those in need.
It's a good initiative, and hopefully we create access or ability for our youth to have some of the things that are actually missing today. Access to finance, education, and of course tech services.
We want us to accommodate a lot of people who, not by their own problem, miss out on the beauty of Islam.
The sense is to implement some projects and programs of Muslim, including the establishment of world-class entrepreneurship development center.
A religious gathering, though a fundraising event, will not be complete without a message from the Holy Quran.
Give us shares, give us buildings, make a work so that perpetually Muslims will never beg again for anything to fund, social work, to fund charity. If you do this, Allah will reward you most abundantly.
A sneak peek into the Empowerment Center set the ball rolling for the main business of the day. Since it was established in 2008 as a faith-based non-governmental organization, Muslim has served as a credible platform of engagement among Muslims in southwest Nigeria.
Wonderful initiative. To tourism, Calabar, the Cross River State capital, is referred to as a place to come and live and be at rest. It is also dubbed the nation's destination. This picture may not be far-fetched from the people being hospitable and the state playing host to several tourist sites such as Tinapa, Kwa, and Agbokim Waterfalls, Marina Resort, Slave Trade Museum, Akampa National Park, Drill, and Obudu Ranch Resorts. Would you like to share in the memorable moments by the Minister of Information and Culture during his visit to Calabar recently? Then, let us join Paul Abel as he takes us through the beautiful scenes.
The visit by the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, to celebrate World Tourism Day turned out to be a splendor. As the minister prayed, all Nigerians had the opportunity to witness the performances. After the official engagements to inspect state-owned factories, courtesy visits to the Cross River State Governor, among others, the minister and his entourage were astonished by the performance of this young cultural group. The command performance by the state troop at the cultural center showcased the unity and diversity of Nigeria. the minister being overwhelmed by the multi-dimensional performance sums up his impression this way.
I've been told that Calabar actually means come and live here and be at rest. I wish I were younger and I come. I wish that those who see Nigeria is at war, I wish they could witness what we witness today. Those who say Nigeria has no future, I wish they were here today. Because what we witness today is a performance that is world class by any means.
The visit by the minister was rounded off with a sumptuous dinner as guests took time to unwind.
Calabar is a beautiful tourist destination any day. It's important the state upholds this. Years ago, on our NTA environmental program, Calabar was even voted cleanest state in Nigeria. Time to take a break. Newsline continues shortly. Welcome back. Now to wedding bells. The perfect day, the best it can be, and with lasting impression. That was the thought of some of the personalities that graced the wedding fatia of Abdullahi Attahiru Jega, the son of former INEC chairman, and his bride Aisha to Abdullahi Remawa. Garba Mohammed Natala captured the Islamic agreement and ceremony at An-Nur Mosque, Abuja.
The D-Day is here for Abdullahi and Aisha too. Friends, families, relations and well-wishers converged to be part of the wedding party of the families of late Muhammad Jega and Abdullahi Rimawa. Father of the groom, Professor Attahiru Jega, former INEC chairman, warmly receives guests to witness the auspicious moment of their children. After the exchange of pleasantries with a few silence by guests, they paid attention to the solemn oaths that signify the union of Abdullah and Aishatu. Thereafter, the bride price of 200,000 naira was paid by the representatives of the couple. The Islamic rites were fulfilled to pronounce the couple as husband and wife, usually done by the imam, followed by prayers for a blissful marital life.
I congratulate the bride and the groom for this very successful wedding, and I hope for them a blissful life.
Okay. How good is this, sir? My advice to the couple is that they should be patient and avoid any third party into their marriage. These are the antidotes to a peaceful married life. The father of the groom prayed for the couple and offered his advice.
More or less, it's the beginning of disciplined and responsible life, and the hope and aspiration of every parent is to see that their children are married and settled. And so today is a very important day for me as a parent, and we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for his blessings, and we pray for a very happy and a blessed marriage life for the couple.
After the pronouncement, the groom, looking radiant and happy, took time to exchange pleasantries with guests who have come to witness the wedding fatia. There also a warm reception to wine and dine featured to our guests at the occasion.
Union of love and happiness forever is our wish for them. I will say congratulations. And to the environment, if you have plans to travel along the Lokoja-Abuja highway anytime soon, well, you may need to tighten your belt for what lies ahead, as flooding in several communities along the route is creating heavy traffic jams and delays. Incidentally, while the increase in the water level is wreaking havoc on impacted communities, with victims counting their losses. Some boat operators and others appear to be smiling to the bank. Francis Odojo reports on the many ironies of flooding in Kogi State and how it is clearly a story of different strokes for different folks.
In recent times has been on the news, especially on the impact of flooding, with Lokoja, the Kogi State capital, being the epicenter.
From Kogi Kotonkarifi to Lokoja, Basa, Ajokota, down to Ofo, Igalamela, Odolu, Omala, Ida and Ibaji local government areas of Kogi State. The story is the same as flood victims continue to count their losses. Lokoja, the Kogi State capital, like any other riverine community, is a case of a town under water with massive devastation believed to be larger than 2012 disaster. Yet, the water level is still on the rise, spreading deeper into the hinterlands, submerging and destroying valuables on its path. The popular Kwata market in Lokoja has been flooded, forcing traders to display their goods on the major highway cut off by the flood.
This one is far higher than 2012.
For the maritime workers and boat operators, flood has provided an avenue for brisk business.
I'm charged 200, 400 with this jacket. And before, if I'm using keke, highest with 200 to and fro.
Before, it's 600, only one person. Now, it don't be sort of each one person be 1,000 now. Nobody did it again. Why? Water don't destroy that place.
Kotonkarifi, end of Lokoja Abuja highway, is not spared as water from River Niger has overflown the road, nearing the Murtala Muhammad Bridge, thereby creating heavy traffic.
I come out for Uromi, I appear silly for Matalachi. When they come and say, Kotonkarifi, don't block, I say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. We have no any option.
We are here more than 2 hours now. We feel bad because we have targeted the time that by 3 o'clock or 2 we get to Kaduna.
Water has overflown the major road linking the south to the north.
The situation has affected free flow of movement, resulting to gridlock, leaving travelers stranded while security operatives tries to manage the situation.
I have here with me Special Marshal Ruben Obo.
The situation here has been very terrible. The whole road is blocked. If not for the effort of the special marshal, the regular marshal, and good spirited individuals who are traveling, there would have been nobody to move here again.
The contractor speed up this work, then we wouldn't have this challenge. We also advise the commuters, road users, to be patient with one another.
Meanwhile, as victims solicit for government assistance, they are more concerned about what the future holds and what authority should do to forestall the impact of flooding.
There is need for quick intervention in that area. Then importantly, caution and safety should be the watchword. Everyone crossing the flooded road and wading through the water should be careful. It could be dangerous. Now, names are regarded as quite significant to any subject, hence carefulness in the choice of names. Just like other states of the Federation, Oyo State bears the appellation Pacesetter State. This, no doubt, played out in most ramifications in the lives of individuals, organizations, and establishments in the state. In this report, Ifeoluwa Omosule has a roll call of some of the names that rubber stamp Oyo State as the pace setter.
Oyo State's anthem there reiterating the state's appellation as Pacesetter State. Names are believed to have direct bearing with outlook and outcome of the bearers. It is therefore no surprise that the name Pacesetter resonates in Oyo State.
From the first television station to first teaching hospital, first tertiary institution to first skyscraper, even first dual carriageway, Oyo State also prides itself with a catalogue of individuals who have not only carved a niche for themselves in the fields of endeavor, but have also taken precedence. The name Folake Solanke rings the bell as the first female senior advocate of Nigeria, who doubles as the first female commissioner in Old Western State in 1972. Senator Mosura Sumonu served as the first female speaker in Oyo State House of Assembly.
These are women that have lived over 30-35 years outside this country. So I came in as a diaspora. And you have men that are core politicians. Never tend to see that, that might be a challenge as well. But how do you overcome it? You have to understand each other, to integrate each other's views, backgrounds, and everything.
The present speaker of Oyo State, Adebo Ogudoyin, is the first youngest speaker of Oyo Assembly and Nigeria. A doctorate degree holder in engineering, Adenike Kolawole, is also the first PhD holder in mechanical engineering field.
It's an awesome experience because when you find yourself in a male-dominated field, it's somehow tasking, comparing reading with home affairs, church affairs, business, and some other things like that, even work. I was so determined that this thing, I must get it because I wrote my WAEC 9 times. They used to cease my physics, and I am determined that I want to read mechanical engineering, and without physics, I cannot go for science course, so I have to keep on doing it. I did it 9 times. So I'm a kind of person that I'm so determined when I said I want to get this thing done.
There is no saying that the Oyo State slogan, Pacesetter State, has and is indeed apt and appropriate.
Now, do you know that in 1960, as at the time of Nigeria's independence, Ibadan was regarded the largest and most populous city in the country and the second in Africa after Cairo, Egypt? Interesting, isn't it? Our last break beckons. We'll be back.
The security challenges we have faced as a government have been daunting. From terrorism to banditry, to kidnapping, to separatist violence, to crude oil theft, to armed robbery and sundry crimes. It's undoubtedly the greatest challenge to the peace and security of our great country since the Civil War of 1967 to 1970. It's a kind of challenge that would have overwhelmed many nations. But thanks to the purposeful leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari, we can say, I want to repeat, that the worst is over, and peace and security are gradually returning to the land.
This message is brought to you from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture. As the 2023 elections draw near, remember, evil prospers when good men and women only wish for peace, but never take a step to make peaceful elections happen. Are you a father? Are you a mother? What are you saying to your children as elections approach? Have you warned them not to let themselves be used to cause violence? Have you explained to them what the consequences of electoral violence might be? Do your part to make peaceful elections happen. Talk to your children. Protect them from unscrupulous politicians who want to put them in harm's way, while their own children are comfortable at home, within and outside the country. Let's join hands to make 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency.
Welcome back. Life is not fair, they say, but God is always good. faithful, dependable, and reliable. This formed part of the consoling words contained in a tribute by the former Executive Director of Finance and Administration, NTA, Venerable Emmanuel Mbanugo, to bid his wife, the late Lady Chinwe Mary Mbanugo, the final goodbye. Chinyere Fesio Okoye captured the sights and sounds of the burial ceremony held at Odumodu village, Nokwa, in Demili South local government area of Anambra State.
The arrival of the remains of the late Ochera, Lady Chinwe Mary Mbanugo, in husband's compound in the early hours of the burial day, as her immediate and extended family members, among others, took turns to eulogize the woman. The body was later conveyed to St. Stephen's Anglican Church in Nokwa for burial service. The Anglican Bishop Diocese on the Niger, Reverend Ewen Okolo, who focused his message on the redeemed of the Lord, stressed that the redeemed follows Jesus Christ to the end.
They are children of God. We encourage them to keep trusting and serving the Lord just as they have been doing.
Special prayers for the deceased family and special rendition by the choir. From the church, it was back to Venerable Emma Mbanugo's country home for interment and other Christian burial rites.
She was a friend, she was like my own mother, she was my partner, she was everything to me.
Our miss talks, and we talk a lot, we tell stories together. He was humble and caring to everyone.
My mom was the rare gem in every sense of it. She was very intentional about her parenting. We had a healthy mix of discipline and love.
She's a model of anything good you will know.
My late sister had a godly way of solving any issue.
Many beneficiaries of the kind gesture of the deceased and that of her husband paid their last respects in various ways.
She has so much passion for education.
The NTA family, led by the acting director of finance, Patrick Pambot, who represented the Director General, were also on ground to condole with the former Executive Director, Finance and Administration of NTA, Venerable Emma Mbanugo, on the death of his dear wife.
We pray that the Lord God will console him and grant the family the fortitude to bear the loss.
We console him. It's for him now to take care of the ones that are alive.
Survived by her husband, Venerable Emma Mbanugo, 4 children, grandchildren, and other relations. The late educationist died at 70 years. The burial ceremony climaxed with a Thanksgiving service also at St. Stephen's Anglican Church in Nokwa.
May her dear soul rest in peace. Amen. It's time to go. Join us again Sunday next week for another interesting edition of Newsline. And don't forget that the fastest and easiest way to becoming a star is to connect with NTA to stand against rape and rapists. Good night and God bless Nigeria.